don't know if you can hear this, but this is one of my favourite sounds.
Hey everyone, my name is Elizabeth and this is Awakened Spirit, and this is the third installment on my elemental series, and the element we are looking at today is the element of air. The element of air is seen as one of inspiration, communication, it's really things in the mind, and it's often also seen as what is called prana in Hindu, and chi, which is Taoism, and it's the life force to Wiccans as well. It's the breath of life and all of the gifts of the mind, so creativity, intellect, inspiration, imagination, music, writing, poetry, communication, our ways of learning as well. So it's very creative and it's very free-flowing as well. Similar to the element of water, water is one of momentum and movement. The same thing with air, because air is ever present around us. It's one that we can't see either. We have to rely on the other elements to be able to see air in play. So a quick crash course on the element of air. I will be doing a blog post on this that will have a little bit more detail, and I will link that one down below once I've completed it. I will also link below the other elements that I've done so far, so you can find those ones quickly as well. I've already covered earth and water, and the next one after air will be fire. So air is often seen as the direction of east. It's the waxing moon in terms of moon phases, and it's the time of spring in our seasons. It's generally recognised as either the sword or the athame. There is a little bit of conflict depending on traditions that you follow, that sometimes it's also seen as the wand. Personally, I use things such as tarot, and I generally will see the element of air as being swords and athames. So that's what I'm going to be referring to. The zodiac signs of air are Aquarius, Gemini and Libra, and the elementals that rule this are called the sylphs. And the sylphs are wild, carefree, they're just like the weather. That's the best way to describe their personalities. They're very graceful, feminine, and they're very expressive and inspirational. So it is often said that to commune with the sylphs is to have clarity of visions and to see things as they truly are. They carry sounds and scents on the air, and they're highly musical, and they can actually give inspiration to you as well. In a lot of ways, they remind me of what we call the muse. A lot of our thoughts and our inspiration does come from that muse energy, and this is what I associate with air. So connecting with the element itself and creating magic with air, one thing that we need to be aware of is air is crucial to our being. It's crucial to our survival. It's ever present, it's always around us. It's a lot like water. We do often take it for granted. The very air we breathe, it carries the oxygen. It's how we smell things. It's how we hear things as well. So sound is a really strong thing to connect with the element itself. Also connect with the breath itself, and working with air through breath work, through yoga or meditation, there is a lot of things that do focus just on breathing and different techniques of breathing, and this is a really great way to connect to air and have a better understanding of not only our own breath work but also the element itself and how it interacts with our body. One of my favourite ways of connecting with air is actually spending time outside. It's a great thing because it obviously gets you connected to the element of earth as well, but being mindful when you're outside of not necessarily connecting to earth itself but the element of air, especially on windy days. I mean, we all know that feeling when you go out on a really windy day, and a big gust of wind almost blows you over and you can't help but almost laugh like a child because it does feel fun and free and very whimsical. So going outside on windy days is a really great way to connect with the element. You can do things such as cloud watching, or even going into things like forests or woodland areas where there's lots of trees and watching the wind interact with the trees as the trees sway. Other representations of air can include things such as incense or smudging, which are really beneficial things if you're going to be using something on your altar, for example. I quite often will use incense, or also the feathers as well, because the element of air is actually ruled by our feathered friends. So using feathers as well is a great representation if you're wanting to put something simple on your altar. So smudging the body and the home is a great way to connect with that element. And ritual movements, things through dance, and even Tai Chi and things like this, and mudras, which are hand movements as well, they are extremely beneficial of connecting to the element. You can also tap into your inspiration, so things like creative writing, even journaling is a great thing to do, especially if you want to do it outside on one of those breezy days. You can also tap into that inspiration and create your own spell. Write down your own spell, or even using affirmations, or writing just your goals down. You can attach these to something like a feather or even a kite, and attach it loosely so that way you can let the air carry it away for you as well. Working with the directions is highly beneficial in this way, so depending on which way the wind is blowing is also going to help you add a little extra oomph of what you would like to draw in to your life, or what you would like to remove as well. And finally, for those who have got a little bit more of adventure spirit with them, you can do things such as hiking, especially up mountains, because mountaintops are a great representation of the element of air. As we know, the higher up you go, the more you can feel the wind. So going outside into nature and going on those long hikes is really beneficial. Or you can do something even more adventurous and do something like parasailing or even skydiving. I've gone skydiving 3 times now, and I can guarantee you that there is nothing like the feeling of skydiving, of connecting you to that element, of feeling the air around you and feeling your body in this completely different way. I was lucky enough to go skydiving on one day that was actually quite overcast and cloudy as well, so I not only got to feel that feeling of falling through the air, but also going through clouds as well and feeling the clouds on my face and over my body. So it is definitely probably my favourite way of experiencing the element of air, as opposed to obviously just being outside as well. A final way of working with this element is also through sound. So listening to music, using things like singing bowls, bells, whistles, anything that wind chimes are a brilliant way to add this element of air into the garden or even into the home, using that sound energy, because it's obviously something that we associate with the wind. So I hope you enjoyed working with the element of air, and let me know if you're going to be creating any of your own magic, or if you're planning on doing something like going skydiving, or even going for a hike to experience this element. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because the next one will be the element of fire. I have decided I'm going to start doing some short meditations, connecting with each of these elements as well, so stay tuned for those. Thank you very much for watching. Love and light, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!